did another lap, dude. I think it's pretty sweet, especially for my weight. It's definitely going to be a little stiff for you, but I just did the upper tabletop and it felt pretty good. Boom. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today's video, we're gonna upgrade the TTR 110 with a little bit of a lift. Some BBR springs. We're gonna upgrade the front suspension with this. And I have a rear shock that we're hoping that will fit on this thing. It's not the whole shock, it's just the spring itself. We're gonna try to swap out a heavier duty one in the rear. If not, we'll order the BB one for the rear as well, guys. It shouldn't be really that bad of a project. We'll probably up the fork oil to some 10 weight just to stiffen it up a little bit. My little buddy back here on the camera is even bottoming out here when he's out on the track and stuff, guys. So let's get right in the video of upgrading this suspension. There she is, the TTR 110. So what we got is some BBR springs. Junior went up to grab them. We forgot to bring them down to the shop here. We're gonna work on those first. We're gonna drop these forks out of here, get these springs put in, and then we're gonna work on the rear shock. Looks like it's pretty easy getting that off there and everything. We're gonna take a measurement from here to here so you guys can see how much lift we actually get in the front end. Should have sprayed this bike off 100%, but we're gonna wipe everything down. We're gonna work on and call it lovely, guys, because we're just gonna go out and get it muddy again. But not a bad deal, 2017. We got it for a pretty good steal. So yeah, there's Junior with the BBR springs. Let's show him, dude. There's the spring kit. I will drop a link in the description, guys, and we will ever so slightly get a kickback off that, guys. We're gonna get a rag and make sure we wipe all this down. Let's get a measurement. It's looking like 4 3/4 inches, guys, just about. All right, guys, once again, don't mind the mess. So this was off his, I think it was what, your XR50R? And we had a BBR spring, which was really, really close to matching up, just a hair shy. We don't want this thing any lower because Junior's like 80 pounds and he's already maxing the suspension out. He's macking the tabletop and stuff out here now. Tell him about your accident the other day. He had an accident on his KX65, guys. Yeah, so show him your hand. Yeah, so he got a nice little cut on his hand and wasn't wearing his gloves, of course, and kind of twisted his ankle up. It's bruised up. He feels like it might be slightly sprained. But he still got right back on his bike stuff. He rode a little bit yesterday, even with all this going on. And then he's got a big mark on his stomach and chest. So it's like every time you ride, you got to be full gear, dude. So yeah, make sure you wear your gear, guys. Yeah, so my hopes, because this is like a heavy duty generic one here. It's kind of like a BBR. And it might be really, really stiff. But it's better than bottoming out. And I think it's about a 1/2 inch longer. So we're gonna try this, guys. This is just a generic one off of eBay or Amazon. I can't remember which one. We'll try to rob the spring off this thing and put on the other shock. Hopefully it works out. If not, we're just gonna order a BBR one. I think they're like around $100 or so, just a replacement one. I was looking at the DMM shock too, guys, and they look pretty sweet. I'll drop a link in the description too, the DNM shock too, guys. I can't even spit it out here this morning, but yeah, I'll drop a link to the DNM too. We might eventually put on it especially if we think this is too stiff, but right now we just don't want to be bottoming out, and we were looking for a little bit of a lift because we have a couple little ruts back here in the bottom turn, and we know they get much deeper than that once we take this sucker to the track. So a little bit of ground clearance will be awesome, right, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so as I said, we 100% got these forks really dirty. We should almost have a strap on this thing up here on the lip. It's kind of like want the TTR out of here. A lot of times, guys, this lip works great. If I get a bike on here, I will just throw a ratchet strap around it. I'm going to clean these forks off. Guys, we're 100% gonna throw a strap on this. I'm just sitting here thinking, this Harbor Freight lift is awesome, but if you're gonna take a wheel off, you must have the strap, because it will, lose a little bit of weight one side or the other, and then the bike's gonna go whoop. So we'll throw a strap on this, guys. We'll start taking these forks off. Here is gonna pop off this nut here on this axle. Grease your axles up good every time you throw them back on, guys. Whenever you're ready. Oh, what are you doing? Are you tightening it? Let me double check here and make sure he's not gonna round the threads off. Nope, it's just on there. That dude put it on there good. You got a 14 mil here, right? Let's just make sure. Yep. You want to square that up as best as you possibly can. Yep. Yeah, it's here, bud. That was on there, I ain't gonna lie. Always gotta remember to grease these axles up. You just give it a good fill. And this one could use a little grease. It's probably from factory. And you just keep in mind of your spacers here, dude. Pull this off and let it hang. So that's what we're gonna do, is just leave that like it is. It can be a little contrary sometimes, but we just pulled the brake drum out of there. And basically we'll let all this hang, take our mounting bolts off here, and then we should be able to drop the fork right down. All right, Juden's gonna take off some of this bracketry here. Little cable holder here. Good, buddy, take that one off there. All right, grab that bolt and put it right back in the fork itself. Okay. Let's get that up out of the way there. Of course, it's gonna come back down at us, dude. All right, let Daddy have it, dude. And we're just gonna, we don't want it to rattle out, right? Just tighten that down a little bit. That on. Make sure you're good and square before you trigger it. And make sure you're seated in there. There you go. Good. There you go. All right, you want to keep this hardware, and we're gonna, hold on. We're gonna put it back together the same way, right? That way, especially if it's, stuff you don't do every day, it helps you remember when you go put it back together. Nice and straight before you do that, or you'll cross thread. You actually never do this. We never do this. Start it by hand, and then you don't have to worry about, because that thing is powerful, man. That thing will send it home, whether it's crooked, sideways, whatever, and then you booger up your threads. All right, let me see that. Look at this. Yep, I just take it in there enough to where we know it's not gonna drop out and lose everything. We're ready to drop that fork out of there, bub. A little trick of the trade on a lot of dirt bikes. Doesn't look like this is gonna be an issue here. Looks like we might have some caps there. But when they have the nuts on top of here, a lot of guys make the mistake of loosening these first. You just want to make sure you loosen that clamp nut first before you start to go at that. I've made that mistake in the past. The first time I ever took a fork off, I made that mistake and learned from it, guys. So hopefully that'll help one of you guys out there. All right, Buck, I think we're going to get a 10 mil here. We're going to loosen that up, and that looks to be about a 14 or something there. I'll tell you here in a second. All right, Junior's got the 10 mil here. Hey, square on there. There you go. No, you're tightening it, buddy. That's how we snap bolts. You got to double check that stuff. Daddy's not always going to be here helping you, dude. Yep, there you go. Square it up. There you go. Perfect. We'll take that and throw that back at you. All right, now you're going to need a 14, so 10 mil. Going to need a 14 mil here, guys. You have to come on around here, son. Loosen it up from right there. I'll take your 10. Square it up good. There you go. Grab a hold of it. There you go. Good. Fully remove it, but we will. Just throw it out of the way. Yep. Hey, way to keep a hand on that. And this is just going to slide right out, guys. Boom. We're going to do one at a time besides dropping them both, just so we just don't have more stuff laying around or confuse one side or the other. That's the way I'm going to do it anyhow. This is a little different than what I'm used to. Looks like the cap's going to come off here. We already took it off and took a peek, and we actually did watch another video. It looks pretty easy. We might want to reclamp this for some type of vise. We got a vise back here, but we'll see. Basically, we're going to press this down. There's a ring in here, and you press this down and pop your ring out, and then everything should come out, guys. Give you guys a good view of this. See how that compresses down? And then there's a ring right around here. So we're going to compress this down, and then we're going to try to pop this ring out. All right, guys, I just got a dental pick right here, and I'm kind of raking this out. Might want to wear an eye protection doing this, guys. For sure. I just don't know if this dental pick's going to be strong enough. I might have to get like a little tuner screwdriver. Alright guys, so basically you just keep on forking it until you get it up out of the groove, and this will come out of there, guys. So take this little ring, and there's our spring. Little O-ring here, and as you can see, it's grooved right in there above that O-ring, and that's where that sets in. So we're going to take these cap and that ring and set it back here. Pull these out. Doesn't look to be any kind of special up or down, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, we're going to put these suspension components that are obviously have oil on them on the clean surface, guys. So we're going to just kind of take this. Probably could have cleaned that seal off a little better there, but we're not going that crazy with this. And what we're going to do here, I got the old 2-stroke cup here, guys. Definitely follow the service manual. I'm just going to dump it, see how much I have, and then that's going to be how much of the 10 weight I put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this out. It looked a little gray, buddy. This fluid could have been done. Looks like it might have been breaking down from the looks of it, guys. And your spring's going to be right in there with a washer, so just keep an eye on that. I'm saying this like I've done these before. I did cheat and watch another video, but I also already know of that spring being on there. And it looks like it might have a round side and a flat side of this spring. Flat side will go down against your spring, obviously, on this washer. So, and you can feel like the burr on it where it was sitting on top of the spring. So it's another way to tell is just by feeling the bottom of that. And we're just gonna compress this a couple times. Oh, she's compressed. Ooh, don't put your eyes over that either when you're doing that. It's probably not a good idea. And we're gonna dump some more out, see what we get here, guys. And there comes our spring. Trying to make sure all the fluid gets right down in there. Just trying to dump, make sure I get every last drop out of there, guys. Again, you could probably look at your service manual, you know, have probably specifications exactly how much oil and everything's in it, but we're just gonna repeat what was in it from factory. All right, guys, just making sure these stanchions are nice and clean. And I'm gonna tell you guys how much oil we ended up with here. Looks like we had about 150 cc's. Right there, our fork springs, dude. You guys want to get a closer look at the label here, part number, etc. Again, we'll drop the link in the description. If you guys are interested where we got this, I think I just stole it right off of Amazon, guys. I'm sure there's other companies you may be able to get a competitive price on. But we're going to compare these springs to the stock ones for you guys. This is a really cool container here. You could bury like treasure in this or something, huh?
Yeah.
Put stuff it full of money and bury it in the yard?
Yeah.
There's their beautiful PTR fork spring. We're going to compare them. So you can just tell, guys, it's not a whole lot of difference in length, but the rigidity of this is much more than the stock one. I can tell by trying to flex it just like this. If you look closely, you can see that this has a thicker spring. Alright, here's another look at the springs. Just wanted to show you. My little buddy's on the way up to get the fork oil. We're gonna put the Maxima 10 weight in this at 150 cc's. Alright, buddy, what are we putting in this?
10 weight fork oil.
Right, and how many cc's?
150 cc's.
Boom. You got it, dude. So I just did like just a barely smudge over 150. We're not going to push too far. Guys, if you want what we have here, this 10 weight Maxima fork oil, I'll drop a link in the description for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Sounds like there could be a little bit of residual fluid in there, guys. I think as long as you're really close on the cc's, it shouldn't make that much a difference. But if you have a really large imbalance of one to the other, you might be able to tell when you're riding. We're just going to go ahead and drop that fork in there. We're going to saturate the fork. Make sure you're using the right spring, of course. We obviously have the right BBR. Kind of just taking my time, make sure I'm remembering everything. And we're going to take our 150 cc's of 10 weight. We're going to jump up. I think it's probably 5 weight that comes in these stock. I'm guessing, guys. Again, check everything out on the service manual before you decide to do it yourselves. Just so you can have something to base it on. I'm kind of just jumping right into this, guys, because that's what we do, dude. May not be the right way. We'll see how it goes, right, bub?
Yeah.
Just gonna massage that a little bit. And then we're gonna put the rest in there. Ain't much there, dude. Alright, so we got our spring. And then we're gonna remember our washer here, guys. We think throw our washer right down in there. Uh-oh, of course they wanted to do a 180 on me, dude. There we go. Oh, now it's sticking to my finger. Alright, we got that in there. We're gonna raise this up. Gonna take this, our non-contaminated. Probably could wipe that down, but I think we just want to send it, bro. And then right there is about what kind of spring retention you're gonna need to press that back down and set that clip in, which is probably going to be the most challenging part. So we got the little cap from the top here and our little retainer spring, for lack of better terms. And basically all you're going to do is repeat the process of setting this down and then pressing that down and then putting your ring in. Alright guys, I'm going to put just a light coat of grease on this, and it doesn't ever hurt to add a little bit of a light coat of grease to an O-ring. And same thing with this clip. So again, I'm going to try just to press it in with my fingers, and then I'll come in. It's a little tricky, ain't gonna lie. So here's where we need 2 sets of hands. It would have been done. Alright guys, definitely could be done by yourself, but definitely also a little tricky. You just kind of have to hold that down and feed that clip in. Once you try to feed it out on one side, the other side likes to come up. So having an extra set of hands 100% helps. We got her in there, guys. Alright, we got to do a test before we put this sucker back on. Oh, dude. Big difference, buddy. Big difference. It feels pretty good. Not a bad process whatsoever, guys, but we're going to time lapse the rest of this, guys, because it's pretty self-explanatory, and we're going to repeat the process to the other fork. Alright guys, I just wanted to show real quick too. It doesn't look like it's a crazy difference, but if you kind of line up the stanchion and you can see it's not a crazy amount of difference, and that's a good thing, I guess. You don't want to change the geometry too much, or it's just not going to ride the same. That little bit of clearance will probably go a long way, especially with raising the rear up a little bit, and make it a lot more safe if you want to get a little crazy in the turns. So I know I'm already like dragging the peg. All right, 150 cc's in the other shock to the T, guys, to the T. So what we did with the 10 weight was just barely come over that, just another line above the 150. We didn't change it that much. All right, guys, here's a look. Got everything back together there. Do yourself a favor and don't take that arm off the drum. You haven't done them enough. They can be a aggravating pain in the butt. You should be able to pull the axle and wiggle the brake drum out of there without doing that step. Now, I think what we're gonna do is pull this side plastic off so we can get to our rear shock there and see what we can do, hopefully swapping out the spring. We're gonna take this plastic off. Bit of copper there. Here's a look at it. Some pins pull right out. Again, we should have sprayed it down a little better, but we'll try and get these pins out and we can compare the spring to the other spring. Fingers crossed that we are able to maybe swap some springs out on this. My little buddy's gonna hold up on this back tire. There's a washer on the outside here, guys. And we can pull our shock out of there. Can you get that pin back there, Bo? Alright, we got the shock removed there. Or dirty. Dirty. Alright, so my hopes is this much larger spring will go on this. So that's my hopes anyway. Alright guys, so we're gonna work on trying to get this off. What I'm thinking, ooh, that ain't gonna compress. All right, guys, through the aggravating process, we got the stock spring on and this much larger aftermarket one here. I had to take the OEM Yamaha one and swap out for my piece of crap aftermarket shock that I got off Amazon. So that's the only piece we had to change out. And this is the spring from that other shock as well, the heavier spring. Something I had in the pile. Sorry, I can't give you a reference off this. It's aggravating. So unless you have a spring compressor, it's really kind of aggravating with the Yamaha style. I've seen where some guys were pulling this down with the Hondas and Cowies. But the Yamaha one appeared to be a little bit more of a challenge to pull it down to get this pin out on this back side here. A little snap ring in there. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, that this is kind of a pain in the ass, guys. Maybe resort to the DMM shock. You do, I think, need to get some spacers if you're going to go that route. I'll drop that in the description too if you guys are interested. But yeah, so we have this all done, finished up. I put just a little bit of Loctite. And another trick I did, because I couldn't get anything in there to stop like that stanchion piece from spinning, I did a little double nut, and that was how I got it, guys. Oh, that back is pretty stiff. Looking over everything, guys. We're about ready for the, we're gonna need a set of handlebars next. It's pretty, the rear is really stiff, so I'll try it out. All right, Junior's gonna give the first test run for himself here with running some jumps and going whatever. Go for it, buddy. Well, buddy, let's get your input.
It feels a lot better now that it has more aggressive suspension.
Yeah. Like like going off the jump wise, does it seem a little too stiff in the rear for you? Seen a couple times you was bouncing a little bit, but it wasn't every time. So I mean, honestly, like, how does it feel compared to stock? I can tell I don't hear it bottoming out at all now. So
Yeah, it feels a lot better.
good, good. All right, guys, I guess Dad's turn. I'm gonna get on and take a couple little semi hot laps and give you my input. Not too crazy, dude. Waiting to run over the big black snake we seen down here. Let's get it, dude. Oh man, it definitely jumps better without a doubt. We definitely got to do some tilling down here. I mean, ruts are cool for Junior to learn it, but I just want to till this out a little bit. He needs to learn, like, you know, this is all hard packed, obviously, so it's a whole different animal, no matter what. I think that downhill might be my favorite jump on the spitter. Bike is so much fun. Honestly, the power's really not bad. I think with some handlebars, like, it's gonna be way more of a better bike. Alright guys, so we are roasted, aren't we?
Yeah.
Did our couple hot laps, semi-hot laps, right?
Yeah.
The stock tires are really slick, so we're gonna look into some new meats eventually, but they're gonna do for a little while. We're gonna look into probably a handlebar setup because they're just a little goofy feeling. So a little bit wider bars, taller bars, and then definitely probably an FMF pipe or some type of performance pipe for it. I felt like it lost a little bit of power putting that baffle back on. When we bought the bike, it had the baffle. So it'd be interesting to see if that changed anything on the dyno, guys. If anyone's interested, I'll put that in the description too. We dynoed this bike at 6.9 horsepower. So yeah, so look for more videos to come on doing some more modifications with this stuff. Soon, as soon as my buddy heals up, he wrecked and hurt his hand. He's riding right now on a semi-sprained ankle. He's got a big mark on his chest here. And yeah, so he recovered pretty quickly. He's still kind of recovering and hopping right back on two wheels. So I love it, guys. Hey, thanks for watching Digging Deep. If you're new to the channel, help us out, guys. Subscribe down below. It means a lot to us. Give us a like, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications for future videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Anything to say?
No.
Okay.